adofnom ane ayumre so ya mamu nyina dwo mamu atenase yankopon te asefo no onhyira mo pa se kwesi ada nwumre bia bonu nsia kein no bia tene TV anim adan adi yemre ebre adu yankopon hyira mo pa na me wo gidie sese de bomofo ba nhwere boa no saa so na mo hwe program yi no yankopon te asefo no mfa kronkron no enkame mo de mo de besiesie ye nyina pe ama ne maya etosom yi no na program we so no se de munim dada no yen ka me feel se me dwen se me susu se ma dwen se me support se there be no de fato nchen yen ka wa ha ne mum da said the Lord yankopon asem se sola scriptura eno na ye ka e wa ha tinyame insha se wajebre na oba be hwedumadi na ye besre wabra wo share program no emposa wo TV agi a mesra wo insada mensaye so kita smartphone ko ade a ko Facebook home based TV na kwa like program no wa share dia man ye pese nipa be brain so ehwe program no wabra mo start years ama na do mo ehwe program no ne response e ba na ye very very positive tie besre mo nkoso enya ne saa emfa mayen enu achi no beka me ho ne dia aseda kese ama wona aseda se wo mpani si udin wom na ya ama ichi Mr Free ye ene home based TV management ni nyina yankopon enhyiramo na program bra wo hwe wo home based TV ya de a Royal TV so afa na live nti mo so mo hwe wo Royal TV ne ya mo dwo mo atenase nyame enhyiramo na afi independent information centers among fan across the country mu nyina mo frɛ eboya amane nanso se yesi yabubu mu nyina din maako a ye ni beba ye hoso ne bre no asa yankopon enhyiramo papa no achi no mame na kasoa SCC efo nso ase nyame enhyiramo memene de na evangelist ho se de mo je team no ofel so no yankopon ti asefo no enhyiramo beposo kwa aman mo ama ade no abeka yensa yankopon enhyiramo papa Openi Jonathan Adade enipa miensa mote 3 miles tafo 3 miles nyame enhyiramo papa Openi Jonathan Adade ne dom afi kwaso adweso monso mama ade na abeka yensa yankopon enhyiramo papa Prof Alajo SDA Church onso wama ade no yensa kan nyame enhyira papa na yankopon pa 7 penisi etiri ente ya nyache so a November 27th memene da be ano ade evangelist Joseph Anani team ni nyina ba Bekwai Central SDA Church hono ne boy sesen na yaba besua de adusuko nyankopon asemu ebe frase anopa kue benonkon na evangelist frase kasa obekasa kopim se nunum ebepa mu na topic bi obewie ne be makwan ma question awa pese obisa no watimi anya kwanya na wabisa nti esramo ampani se nkwampa etwa didi kwan so enwa nti moma ye nyina ye hia Bekwai Central SDA Church memene da ebe na on the 4th December eno so pon me kwa me din me hu boda se pon e wota machi ho na e ho no mo ye beko e nyame pa 4th December nti ye ton safra do fo so e around ho no se mu hia e ho na ye nyina ye mum ensua nyankopon ti asefo na sem kame ho ni na dofo a monso na mo send sika say TV stations na yesia 6 ni nyina ye mo adaroma na me ogidie se nyankopon se nka mu hu nanim ene se de nani agejuma mu die no a ka mo ni beje papa to bibiara o send sika e support program yi bompa ye support program ni nyame enhyam so person send sika e de papa support program ya number bitime send sika na abaso no bigiri se production e de be screen so amaye 055 35 74933 05535 74933 so unti bibia set na pese obi san so a the same number and a over fra evangelist bepeke na fe wona wo abon komo kama ye from asuafo de hye Kofi Kakari na as usual the researcher of our time evangelist Joseph Anani evangelist mo dwuma kwa ba yankopon enhyira papa the topic a ye hwe no mumudodo am hwe fiada no na ye brofo ene de ye koye di twi eye watch and pray international de be twi no mu a wen ne bompai adenti ene se se wen de bompai de na esie ye be wie topic no me Jesus ade a obete ase eye evangelist me time akwa be ye wen ne bompai adenti
yes one say na ye ne ahwefo no afa de sua hodo mu a
that's right
na emu hono ye de ni echere Glasgow se wi ase ba kampom na omahye kwasha damra ade ato nyankopon homeda ne mra firi ho
that's right
e ho ne eduru enti no oma committee number niema akoyi se de kan no na akoyi na ebi mu nya huni je obi hia se e bebo nyina akoko se omo nwan na omo mpaye pese be
because me bo ma ntwo mra wachi kakra minya course bebre na wonim se na nipa ni bi adwen om se Kwesi Adamra kombetia nanka Antonio Guterres abetna ebia I hereby declare National Sunday Law duly launched. No more say, hey, one pass Kwesi Adamra. Omo hu ni say nti. Omo say omo anti say Kwesi Adamra ni ka wan say.
Amo to mo ati. Ne say nti no. Ye be fa mi bompa ye say betimi afa na nwumre. Eni na ohwese ne. Na ye fa mo no mo hu say dia de ne city.
That's right.
To dem nya potre.
Because we be so for we frame. Na me bisa na question ba ko pese Sustainable Development Goals na 17. Ohwe ni nyina mu emu ne he ne atwere as the friends LGBTQI+ no. He ne atwere no. No so wum na me say wum. Because I can gender equality no. Ti sa na we so tie. Okay, even it's trust my friend.
Mencha ya hwafo no do mecha mu nyina bebre Nyankopon hira no. Okunuma ye dende na omada roma ana ye kasai na da bia me ba se de meka no ye yam yunu ne tete bi no so wa ha enso no ye dom omo na aboa ma adwumadie no ekoso nya me nhira wo no.
That's right.
Menchia one Mr. B side ta friend no spare parts dealer.
Okay.
I wo Rana Motors Runabout tema. Yeah, spare parts le ne wo no. Ono so ni adwumadie oni ho abrokra.
Okay. Mr. B nya me nhira.
Yeah, Mr. B. I feel me one lady be or some of the friend media. Also, some medium group and not chimney by speed. So, when I had more TV soon, one of Babu knew him, friend did me say, Patramia. It's a bit happy. I have been sure. Said you saw me, or what you watch it.
That's right.
Now, Mark 13:33. Yes, to add to a swamp for no food, no bone cocoa, 5 years, CV, young century near Baba. Or Kaya or dinner no cosino. No cast a moon na mom paye.
That's right.
We saw omonim don koa on the babano, ebe baba. The moon na mom paye no. That is a wakikan near me ashen mabenso. Sanya mano, and they all said, Yamay, near who's a sanya man ACC.
That's right.
The ACC no, not for a bomb paye. And yam paye empire a dobe ko adwin sakra no Nyankopon ahedi mu. Sa, and this answer me no, na bomb paye no. So also chile no kwa mpo a wo nwan no e wo asade as say wo ye.
That's right.
So na sa asade no ebi ne nia ye titibi so aye kan e kan dwuma no ho na no ma no e wo say nwan no doso na ne titiru e wo de kwatwe no edisem homa no de edisem homa no hwe etire de kan chichemu ba ko no chapter 1 verse 1 Revelation. So o say Yesu Kristo ayedi a wo de ma na kwa Yohane efa noma etwa se ebantem na no na wonam na bofo so ede ma Yohane.
That's right.
Noma etwa se ebantem things which must shortly come to pass. Na noma na etwa se ebantem no emu ba ko bia ehu mepese wiase nyinara na omo hweye no ebehye no nso no wo etredu na chichemu nkron kosi Dumian Revelation chapter 14, 9 to 12. Baby, I can say, now, Obo Tosso me and
Sane, says, will be to Aboano in Puni. Not in a general deceit in Sasso and Anamoma.
Yes,
or none of Bonum young Funs, I was feeling a good Bufu. Now I had the Ujanis of him, a drama on the Abo for Concron.
Very well.
Now I do receive a frost or that, and when young me, a Viana.
Fine. One year, one more, a Benya, Abuana Jinashadi. Or this is only the only do me, as I tell proof for one say a pioneer mean, okay, Bakuno Wake. Bakuno or do me, will be a can say,
now I will take for
yes,
one hour kita, yes, to Christo and dance, and we will come far. And told the Biasino champion, that's right. And yet, will be Nelson Bins would have been Kuno Benjamin phone. Nyakopo asked what they buy and the Cheviasino meal. Okay, yes. And yet in Chemomil nearby, Yenya one. Bab from somewhere I will take for Boasito. Now, or more a pranya for Ransom. Me is a one dance. That's right. A queer background. A queer cano, Eddie, a queer cano, Aji, or a Abuano, that's right. Simple, sir. Now, your Jenny say,
I will say a decent tribunal Jamunsia and then so on. A honor semi in agina. Or Bofwa or too far rim. Now the a nicasia or simply grandson or the ma assassin. Amanamai, and was your crew, Casa, and Penina. And you know, as some of Bofonica is a monsoon yankupon, Namunsan and Nimunam. Is an antemon to Namokoto do your sorony as I say, a pony a suit to yes, some way, and a cherry as an museum. Now you may know Casino, we are seno, Yache Mummy. Okay. Now a bianco di baby and ye. Arrange the moon here say, yet Tim. Manyankopon ma akodi baby enye no a ehwo no wo che ho bebre a obenya abonde na hye de mark of the base no omandipa won so very good twan free Revelation chapter 18 verse 4 eno ho asem ene ye kan sa enti no menchere ho no ye mo video di kan ne panche sa asem no okay yes ado from na ye wo videos makoma 10 ah ye be ho e de ahwehwe nsem mu ntimese productions my crowd video 1 modaro ma ho roman
calling on the world's faithful to join the fight to solve the climate crisis. 40 religious leaders gathered at the Vatican on Monday to add their voice to the growing chorus calling for world leaders to take real action to tackle the crisis. The Catholic Pope, Pope Francis, called the meeting but preferred to let others speak.
I call on all young people, regardless of their religion, to be ready to fight against any action that may damage the environment or increase the climate crisis.
The meeting was labeled Faith and Science, and many spoke of the need to fuse our rational and spiritual sides.
Together, faith and science, people of different faith can transform fear in hope, anxiety in confidence, inaction into action.
Others highlighted the responsibility religion confers on humanity.
That the water is the father, the air is the teacher, and earth is our common mother. Just as we don't dishonor our mother, father, and teacher, why would we dishonor these gifts from our Creator?
We must address the unequal economic systems and the human impacts of climate change.
Though they aren't political,
and often my sign Emma Mokwa be a copy video no evangelist Bobby Tree my near Cososremo won't share with Facebook my that's home based TV oh your feed na share mine you who send probably break air Yami Shramo evangelist
yes in an occupancy I say a danwa video we won't try aye afie mu
that's right
musumi atwa mo ye October but afie musumi to so 9 said dan so ena osom ahodo a ewo Ghana ha
omoje ba bi omonye ba buru ni nyina na konfo hwan kremo bibia
omo na no fo no panimfo no ye na ye ka obi ti Ghana o se media menka wo ka no empanimfo na de da sa osom ahodo na no omo na omo akohia no mo assign krata no mo assign no aye die omo ane Pope Francis aye ba ko so se eno na yemfa enka hihye ya ye de bebu wiase efiri afia wo mu ya ekọ no yemfa sa hihye na enka ho enti no die omo de omo sa hye ase so mo apene so no ama sa afọ nyina kogu fa ho
that's right
ekuya ankobie na omo ansan so no aye memena kwayefo asori 7-day Adventist Church na so obi ewo asafo bi a ewo bi asafa na nyina
wono so ankobia onkan ebebundi
yes
that's right
simple if you said that be a make us say and say enka Ghana had dia a different thing but 7-day Adventist Church ewo bi asafa na nyina
that's right
omo na omo ankosan wo Ghana na otima me na sorry a de course no udin ni paper so kra ko ni akon safra wo nim de course yes entino wiase nyina kakon ho abumu akogu fa aka meme na kwayefo asori ana sabi o meme na ketingeti a yatete mu aka no omo ka mu no nyina bomu a omo so ankobi enti wiase mu acha minu ano na ko ba ko no akosan November October 4 ai agreement no omo de omkrata no echo United Nations
that's right
meeting no a your friend COP26 I was screen so and no by 1st November e be we 13th na mka some ko be 12 and we 12 no e be we 13th saa meeting no mɛka sɛ hɔ yɛ turning point.
ɛnyɛ wo mpo na woka ɔmo ne kaa ne saa
Saa.
sɛ turning
Aye,
point.
turning point.
That's right.
Na ɛkɔ so UK. Na ɛhɔ no ɛna mɛka sɛ meeting no wie no ɔmo agye Kwesi Adamra n'ato.
That's right.
Na menka wei titiri no SDA fo binom ɔmo adwene yɛ wɔn sɛ nea ɛkae no ama mu. Na mebɔ mpaeɛ ama wɔn no ebi sɛ ɛnyɛ sɛ bi a ɔmo hyɛ da adi ɛho pa na sɛ ebi sɛ nim na ɔmo nim. Nti mebɔ mpaeɛ ama ɔmo na ɔmo ntie deɛ ɛka yie. Na Kwesi Adamra no wiase agye ato ɛno nti na wotie bɔfoɔ no a nkransa no ɔse ɔde ma asase no gyina hɔ ma UN nye nyinaa ka bɔ mu a United Nations enti akɔgye atom ofiri hɔ a ne bɛba amanaman enti afei na amanaman bɛhyɛ saa mmara na ansa na ɔho sɛ adeɛ no yɛagye atom.
That's right.
Sɛdeɛ ɛkɔgye mmaa ne mmaa wadeɛ tom LGBT tu mu ɛwɔ UN ɛyɛ 2015.
That's right.
Sɛ akɔsɔ amanaman afei na abɛpie Ghana
Abɛpie Ghana.
ɛsɛ ɔmo sɛ mo kɔpɛ firi
yɛka ho asɛm wɔ Angel TV ne bi si yɛmfa yɛho fia yɛn a asɔfoɔ ka ho
saa
bi.
saa na ɛteɛ ebio sɛ UN ya na nan so yɛ June 4th 2021 yɛ sɛ yɛnua sɛ bɛpie Ghana ha the next month July 11 ɛna yɛn nso kɔdua nua no bi wɔn bisa sɛ nnua no efiri hin na ɛba yɛ kɔdua yɛ ɛno deɛ mo fa to back na yɛkɔ Glasgow no mɛpɛ sɛ ahwɛfoɔ ɛnhyɛ no ma mmiɛnsa yi ɛnsoma yɛ edi kan Laudato Si no a Pope Francis di ba wiase a agyidifoɔ ahodoɔ ne ɔsom ahodoɔ sɛ yɛ Buddha sɛ yɛ Krishna sɛ yɛ Islam wɔn nyinaa agye tu mu no saa Laudato Si no ɛno ɛhyɛ SDG number 13 ɛyɛ climate change ɛmo na ɛhyɛ na ɔmo de kɔhyɛ hɔ no ɛna ɔmo twerɛ Paris Agreement rule book sɛ ɛno na yɛde bɛkɔ climate change.
That's right.
Enti no ofa Laudato Si no a Kwesi Adasum ewum ɛna ɔmo de kɔhyɛ Paris Agreement no.
That's right.
Na ɔmo de hyɛ mu no kɔna ɔmo fa so de hyɛ mu no sɛ yɛho sɛ ɔhyew anaasɛ ewie mu ayɛ hye na egyina nipa nsa no nnwuma ahodoɔ a yɛyɛ so. Enti no sɛ bɛyɛ a yɛbɛte ɔhyew no so nti no yɛmmerɛ nipa adwuma a yɛyɛ no yɛnte so. Ti kwan baako a yɛbɛfa so yɛbɛte sa ɔhyew no so no baako yɛ sɛ yɛn da kunsi hɔ ma wiase dwumayɛfoɔ nyinaa home.
Okay.
Ɛba saa no a na yɛte so ɛhɔ na gya kɔnkɔn Pope Francis ɛne asɔre ne ɔsoma ahodoɔ no nso pene so sɛ yɛmfa Kwesi Adamra ne mfa ho ti nkramofoɔ anye Kwesi Adamra ntom sɛ yɛmfa nkɔ asɔre ɔmo gye to mo sɛ yɛmfa nhome ne yɛmfa nkɔ climate change.
That's right.
Saa na Buddha na ɔmo nyinaa gye to mo mɛba so ɛno yɛ ade a ɛdi kan mepɛ sɛ wɔn mu ɛte aseɛ ebiola Laudato Si hɔ a no ɔmo sɛ de dabia meka no saa na meka no bi mu wɔfa paragraph 237 ɛhɔ agya kokoro Pope Francis ɔma wiase nyinaa te aseɛ sɛ ɛhɔ na wɔtwerɛ sɛ yɛmfa Kwesi Ada no ɛnhome na ɛnsa yɛn ɛne asase ntɛm yareɛ ɛnsa yɛn ne nipa ntɛm yareɛ afei yɛn ne Nyankopɔn ntɛm so no ɛno nso so asa yareɛ ɛno yareɛ
no me kan kyerɛ adɔfoɔ ɛhwɛ yɛn sɛ we a public document wokɔ net so a nsa bɛka ɛna evangelist ama page ne sɛ 172,173 kan fɛ sɛ ni ɔnom a na waka sɛ bi a yɛdi atwerɛ evangelist aso na
afei ɛtɔ so mmienu document wei yɛba bɛka sɛ sie United Nations ɛne document wei aba wiase enti no obia saa document wei ɛyɛ key mofrɛ me court me de bɛba me ba court ne ni hɔ a mɛsrɛ kwan na me lawyer ɛnsrɛ kwan ma me na me nkɔfa document ne mmra efisɛ document ne ɛyɛ key ɛfiri UN na ɔmo ade adanseɛ sɛ krataa na Pope Francis di bae ɛno na ɔmo de twerɛ ɛyɛ
SDG 17
ɛno ɔmo ankasa to ɔno tu.
That's right.
Fine. Yeah.
And which I will say that's 16 June 2016.
Yes.
First anniversary of Pope Francis encyclical Laudato Si.
Yes.
This week marks the first anniversary of the call by Pope Francis to the world's 1.2 billion Catholics to join the fight against climate change, which was pivotal in building momentum for the historic Paris Agreement, climate change agreement, and for sustainable development.
Yes.
The encyclical was part of a wider mobilization by faith groups around the world to achieve both the Paris Agreement in December 2015 and agreement on new sustainable development goals earlier in the year. Christiana Figueres, Executive Secretary of the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, said.
Sir.
Okay.
Yeah. And Mammy Chadi Akanopo, almost said, or Casa, not just all Chilamo said. Ladato Sinapo Francis de Bayer, and no mutual Paris Agreement.
That's right.
Glasgow Mokoye, a free November 1st to November 13th. Paris Agreement in Yako Diatum. And a you and a catcher say, Ladato Sino, and no Paris Agreement. And a Mokoti Paris Agreement now to more. Let us a Ladato Sino Maja to me.
That's right.
Silent here. Metiway, Mesha jacket, Mesha shirt was here. And to make catchers who shall code the TV, so I know to no one I'm jacket was here.
And that's right.
And the Paris Agreement on Makoja to Moon, because I assume issue. Na ABP mu et won't we ask cry no nka we cry from wa eno amwa e ho abiem eye meeting no mokoye no e ho kratani na eno so de be mo akai fi se omo wie ye no nsem mo de ba no omo ba se eja no kradi enti omo wie na omo ma copy sa de kan ni we date ni 13th November dan mo poye no an e ho ananche kratani
enyanka ensu kra
yes.
Okay. That's UN Climate Change Conference, UK 2021.
Yes.
Okay. What's it? Okay, 13th November 2021. COP26 keeps 1.5 degrees Celsius alive.
Very good.
And finalizes Paris Agreement.
What said I say? Finalizes
Paris
yes.
Agreement. That's 2015.
The finalizing, say, you know. Ebi ni actually
Singapore.
Yes, Singapore, you know.
Okay.
After your first bulletin, no.
What's it? COP26 ends with global agreement.
Yes.
To accelerate action on climate this decade.
Very good.
Okay. Two, and I mean jumping red.
I jump red.
Okay. COP26
yes.
has today concluded in Glasgow with nearly 200 countries agreeing the Glasgow Climate Pact to keep 1.5 degrees Celsius alive.
Yes.
And finalize the outstanding elements on the Paris Agreement. Emphasis on Paris Agreement 2015.
And Amanamanina Jiatu Upa climate negotiators ended 2 weeks of intense
climate negotiators ended the 2 weeks of intense talks on Saturday with consensus on urgently accelerating climate action.
Thank you. Not just say Omoji to Mono, Yanya to Mukako, Omoji to say, Yemfa de to America. So said Omokano. Yes, now Americano, I feel better on the best here to assure the Glasgow Climate Pact. What that was, yeah, baby, okay, kind of one. What that was,
okay, yes. The Glasgow Climate Pact will speed up the pace of climate action. All countries agreed to revisit and strengthen their current emission target to 2030, known as nationally determined contributions, that's NDCs, in 2022.
Very good.
2022, so the
Omaja to say, I didn't debate to America. America couldn't be chassis every 2022.
That's right.
So said as it is. And you know, I dare not air banner. Miss Ramo, Mamma, you may so son, na ye chere a cra, the uncan de Berano, Miss Sapano, near che. Na a someone poor wedging pool. Yaquacho, why you so feed dinner near the Ahaya Catasso, said by your own.
That's right.
No, among some the power or show or jamua. O me, I didn't soon winning to down the Janico. It's a brofono more cano. So 1 or 2 boise, and can brofono. Or maybe out. Sana identity.
That's right.
And you know, what the young video you know this one. Now in fact, I say,
and Dr. Ashe program you swatch in him say, you can say Catholic Bishop Conference on President or Ghana.
Yes. Yes.
The information I pick it Vatican. On one Kakasaka say, Ladato Sina, the Aka Umo Enfanya,
yes,
2022, the bedroom. And the Aka Unsu Pesia song. It minimum in Ibabinum Peso motive you. Production, what aroma, Yabene day. Videos 2 and 3.
From us, we have the tools. Technology is on our side. Readily available technological substitutions already exist for more than 70% of today's emissions. And we have the roadmap, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Paris Agreement on climate change. And we have the imperative, undeniable, irrefutable science. The best science, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, tells us that any temperature rise about 1.5 degrees will lead to major and irreversible damage to the ecosystems that
Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It's the most up-to-date assessment of how global warming will change the world in the coming decades. Environmental experts have called it a massive wake-up call to governments to cut emissions. 234 authors from 66 countries have worked on the landmark assessment. The report says global average temperature rise could reach or exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius in the next 20 years. Now that is 10 years sooner than expected. That temperature rise will breach the ambition of the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement and bring widespread devastation and unprecedented extreme weather. This all comes less than 3 months before the COP26 climate conference in Glasgow in Scotland, vital UN talks that will determine the future course of efforts to tackle climate change. And the UK minister responsible for delivering COP26 has released this statement following the publication of today's report. He says, "Our message to every country, government, business and part of society is simple. The next decade is decisive. Follow the science and embrace your responsibility to keep the goal of 1.5 degrees Celsius alive." Our environment and energy analyst Roger Harrabin has
adofno yesai emmo kwa babiu mo Facebook no nyame nhira mo papa mo bom homode mo nkoso nhye emfaman even as I go videos me
fine. Almost say Guterres or Casado or say we have the tools. Now tools no on our Paris agreement or can SDG 17 and a roadmap and or the undeniable science and or technology. Now science now all can one can KNUST, University of Science and Technology, coming from one can, or say IPCC. IPCC near the Intergovernmental Panel, just a buying beer the Wovia say. A bain for a was a kunum, a monian sap, a abundance of for or more 82 moon, or more yibi, or more up to the young question moving Pimutu. Now a beer when a human deal you and Krabata Hubu. No more do on back canoe and a Yasin too.
That's right.
And to meet no more coin. And then no more be a meeting. No more nobody to piano. Neba the Baku Nebutai. Now, young can't be believed. Or the other kind, a science and agency, but I was screen so a book knitting the Obia paint one hole. A view of my kind actual science and agency. I said 1 and 2. I look on the back in Kamaye, but I was screen so Obia Pedibiano or that so. Naniano.
Okay. Conference of Parties.
Yes.
Serving as the meeting of the Paris, the parties to the Paris Agreement.
Yes.
Third session. Glasgow, 31st October to 12th November 2021.
Very good.
Okay.
I feel be the next page cry. National Free Science and Agency.
Okay, Science and Agency. Recognizes the importance of the best available science for effective climate action and policy making.
Very good.
1. 2. Welcomes the contribution of working groups, 1, to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, sees assessment report, and the recent global and regional report on the state of the climate from the World Meteorological Organization, and invites the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change to present its forthcoming report to the subsidiary body for scientific and technology advice in 2022.
Very good. Kaninu, so the Kakaye, say Archbishop Philip Name.
And that's right.
Or not any D Kaya as to say. Chishaya Akawala Dato Simu, it be Juma 2022.
One can gano, ya pikifi vatican.
Yes. No, we are seeing now. Near himself or can happen, say, Enna, ye Roman Father Bacobeca to us, a year, your friend no corrected them.
Okay.
Only of the kind of brain said, a Yahomeda, ene ba be die no next year 2022.
That's right.
And no na omo nka na na ka wo. Say no UNFCCC akoshia climate change for Glasgow. Glasgow so like at the back pim so say 2022.
And that's right.
You know, I am you. Fine. Yembo video ba kwa die chine fanka ya asem.
Okay. Production video 4. Equator Romain.
We always knew that Glasgow was not the finish line. And anybody who thought it was doesn't understand the challenge that we had. Glasgow, was never going to be that we were going to come to Glasgow and everybody was going to have a decision that was somehow going to end the crisis or, automatically put us on the path we have to go. So I would say that, Paris built the arena and Glasgow starts the race. And tonight, the starting gun was fired.
Evangelist John Kerry Akasa.
Yes. I say, Nasa Mokana, Ghana for any Viasa for Musu say, Glasgow and Papi Amano, a year. Yamipon a meya. Or say one Musu say, ye be Glasgow, let us name in a year, or say one Tiasia. Or say Glasgow no, the starting gun has fired.
That's right.
Just say, Yabo P, Obian to America. In the Glasgow na afena we bia de no so obi anya de atwere no.
That's right.
Enti ehwo no enye ko chichiri mra no so obi ankodi mra no so ndia me ka kire mo say Glasgow ne kwose da mra ye hye wi a afena obedi so sa eno waka no say the starting gun has been fired.
Because maybe even don't do a follow program no. Also can in your dua no auto was it trim.
Yes.
I started free Vatican. E wala da to see no.
Yeah.
Ghana street. E kofa UN. E free UN ansa na e ba Ghana ma presidency e dia to dwam nyina akodu enua.
Yes.
Sa so na we so e free Vatican la da to see. Akodu UN. Ya dia tum. Afi na e betra ba. Enti e bedua ho nua nya botre.
Say na me say e yenkom hye.
That's right.
Obofo no tie mu no. O se o tie ma kira asase. Asase ne hemfo ye nyina
UN.
Yes. Ti Glasgow no ye nyina na e committee no. And the senka okono emponi tie Bible kokobon kransema ehonu nkase de omo ye no komujai eno moto aso enti ehode kokobon no ko ho omo amfa mo say no ebefi ho ewura manamai enti na papa ne ka say the certain go just yabo abani pin so bia anto America.
That's right.
Na baby akwose da mra ne hye no aye ka nipa ni hu o tie amane bono a say yes 2022 omo de biba eno ye IPCC for no report on Modeba. Now, in the Ebeboa, man, I did not to America see any report on the ban, Ebeba February 2022. Now, the only ban almost say no adaptation. You can say adaptation or mankasa echirimu. Now, adaptation or the bar, no more the next month, a year march, or more the back of more friendly mitigation. And then you know, IPCC for report on Modeba. Na adaptation and mitigation no menchirem na wote hwase a chese no musuo da mitigation no se osho osho abawiem right enti no kwan ben so na ebefa so a ebema osho no abrase akwan wo de beku akwan mu no ne nyina na mo twa ne tia professor mo se mitigation enti ebi ne se epo osho no ebawiem no ekokapo emma se no epo yiri transition.
That's right.
The kwan ben so ne ye tisa osho no so na akokapo biu mo omo kire mo se ye twetwa nnua nnua no so no ya na echi osho ne bi esan so ma awiem dwuma ye te nnua na ye twa no ama osho no enya yesusu aso bone nti enya nnua ne twetwa
mo
ena amanaman a etwa nnua no Ghana ka ho DR Congo, Brazil, Cameroon, Nigeria, Guinea-Bissau, you nkra hodo a omu akwaya akese ye kan Ghana so ka ho ana omu kire mo se ye nyai enua na ye twa no
ye ben da bibi
eno nti no aban bisa omo saa no ana omu kire mo se ya twa sika e de be chama mo a mo enua a mo twa ton no esan se enu so na mo de eye mo nuoma mo de ye mo sika asem nti no ye be ma mo sika a be so mo enti no omo twa $100 billion US dollars. Say afibia ne be cham sa kuro. Ni enti ebe mu na mo ka say Glasgow anye ye nyina ne say $100 billion no mo twa ye no. Omo nya mo 80.
Oh,
20 na aka no munyaa no na Ghana fo bi no edi no nsuo no mu asakokwa no kwa ka say glass wanye so say na seti
okay
e di say sika no na ba ba che ne nyina ya mitigation ye wie ne saa no mo transe hu say science no papa ne ka say IPCC for science science kire say se nya da ko bia si ho eye na otwe bia mu na say ya nya dwuma biara eno no emphasize ka bia ma che say enso bia sika ye se home na nya ahoden na fa to aso enti saa home no say ya to aso saa mfie du ya ka wanimu a
na watwe bi yi da ba
edi home
bo anu
ebeti efie no a eni ohye no abawiem no ebeti so wo hanche ohamonche mu tuenu 20%.
Wow.
Eno no yemra ho so ajase enti no scientifically no abode nya sape mu kwan so no de eto atwene mu enti no nso yage aka ho eno hye mitigation no so enti no brofo no amu ka no ade we yemu sasabi emu bu ye hye ase de hye ache kakra enti no omu hye ase nyina na ani wo se ye ko school ye hye ase class 1 enti ache wa de class 1 ba wie ss enti hu 1+1 say ye 2
that's right
ya de ababa otiri mu obehu enti de omu aka no omu na abo ye ya me behu bebe ye duri eno mu ko menti no so omu je tu mu se ene climate change no kunkum nipa na fi bia no ebe kum nipa be ye opin 250,000 yes enti no ni science no se ya home a ebe ma yare no eso ate ye mo video me no e chiri be ni ye fa chira ase no ye
okay production videos 5 to 7 madam Romano so unromai
Pues cuando se secó el río Colorado, pues ya casi lloraban todos.
Mi familia, nosotros aquí veníamos a pescar, mi madre y mis hermanos. Pues sí, antes había mucha agua. Aquí sacábamos almeja nosotros para comer y lo pescábamos, robarlo con anzuelo. Sí.
adofum esama mo akwa ba biu dodo waso no ebete de honhom no kachira safo no evangelist
yes one was a video edikan ya Empire of Mexico Empire ne say omo ha no nyina ne say esobontin a echifa kro no every US member Colorado avi enti yemo Empire na nsuo no ensamranda dan ho biu eno Empire no mo bo na baby anso ne trefa no any video to so mienu on se be me kuta moto amu twifa mu baby anke nsuo fa no ene ye de moto na twifa na foto so e de omochi so ho na fe nsuo no omunya ennom ma aka ma wiom aye hye enti no on se be to so miansa na abranje bi da wa se de wewu omu pompi nsuo gu no so ansa na ne ba na ho so wo nyane ti papa no kura kan se ya mpa nsuo ampa gu no so ama ne bi enu ma kon bi wu pese saa na mo afa so mo wu saa climate change na saa de no ho onyankopon kasa ka kire wo mo se mo meto so enum na tiri no wotwe se mo tie masem na mo di bimra asem so
eno na enhira kodo aba mo so suo beto ne brem asase na be so no bae do so eni me nyina be ko yama
na mo ntie so
mo ntie dia ewiem be se kobre na mo asase be se dade
eno
eno me hodo be ba mo so
eno na ekoso yi enti me ye ka kire wiase se meet no mo ko Glasgow no so suo beto ne brem ama enya duane pedia je se ko nyakopon na asem so
eno so na Glasgow wa koto atwene
eno nti edno me ni beba bebre tin me ka na nwumre yi ene de promotion example 21st November 2021 omo mark me no masem se wo ye kire no ohaw no ebeba kyende atwam sa na omben to di no a yembo video menu e di akire ba no na ye pa kire ya sembe me wa
production videos 8 and 9 madar my no so mun room na ye hwe.
La seguridad pública indicando que hay una persona que irá en vía pública, probablemente por un agotamiento de calor. Lo que sí, pues sí está un poquito más rápido el calor este año, se nos viene un poquito más rápido de lo que es, pero esta vez nos llegó a los centígrados muy altos. Oye, ¿cómo estás? Hey. Pupilas y...
Abre los ojos, Karen. Abre los ojos. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Tenías mucho calor, vecina? Vamos a tirarlo. Tranquilo.
Mira cómo lo alivianó el agua, lo refresco. Si no tienes quien lo atienda, ahí queda. El alcohólico y ellos son los que son más propensos a tener este tipo de incidentes. ¿Ya alivianó? Ahorita si te fijas dónde estaba, está en el pavimento. Está caliente el pavimento. Tenemos un sol muy fuerte y eso hace que ahí tirado tu cuerpo empieza a evolucionar temperaturas. Vete a descansar.
Vete a descansar, vete a la sombra, toma agua.
Tanto seguridad pública como nosotros no hubiéramos llegado, esa persona probablemente haya fallecido.
Y algo que es único para todo el país, aquí en Baja California en particular, en Mexicali.
Let's go right to World News Tonight anchor David Muir, the first American network journalist on the ground in southern Madagascar. Good morning again, David.
Robin, great to see you again. And you know, it's really hard to put into words what we witnessed. The UN right now is sounding the alarm that southern Madagascar is on the brink of the first climate change famine. And you know that we've covered hunger, famine around the world. Usually there's war, conflict, terror driving it. But this is climate.
This morning, as world leaders meet on climate change, what we witnessed on the ground with the aid workers in southern Madagascar, where the UN is now sounding the alarm, saying this country is on the brink of the first climate change famine. We are given rare access to their emergency effort, the trucks disappearing in the wind-driven sand. 5 years of drought here. We see it in the faces of the children, their hollow eyes, their silence. There is no joy here. We ask this mother why she made the journey.
Because of famine.
Because of the famine.
And she tells us she has just lost one of her babies to hunger.
A Canadian patient is the first in the world to be diagnosed with climate change. A senior citizen from Nelson in British Columbia suffered from breathing trouble and was said to be suffering due to the effects of climate change. Doctors said heat waves and poor air quality were responsible for her condition. Dr. Kyle Merritt was responsible for the diagnosis, which is reportedly the first ever to document a patient as suffering due to climate change. In this particular case, the patient was struggling to breathe after the recent wildfires in Kootenay worsened her asthma. The Kootenay region has seen over 1,600 wildfires this fiscal year, according to the BC Wildfire Service website. Dr. Merritt had seen numerous cases where the record heat wave exacerbated existing health issues like diabetes, heart failure, and so on. When asked about the unusual diagnosis, Dr. Merritt said, "If we're not looking at the underlying cause and we're just treating the symptoms, we're just going to keep falling further and further behind. It's me trying to just process what I'm seeing. We're in the emergency department. We look after everybody, from the most privileged to the most vulnerable, from cradle to grave. We see everybody, and it's hard to see people, especially the most vulnerable people in our society, being affected. It's frustrating," he said. Linking mortality and severe illness to climate is a struggle, the doctor admitted. However, he hopes that his action will encourage.
I don't think saying more about you. Even they say the climate change away.
Aye. Hey, and they are almost Madagascar. video boy enye afia biblia twa mu and that also some wasam ne kai e koma chiesi Madagascar ma UN to nipa kohwe nhwemo de nya ne kire se sa komo de yemfra no climate change ko look at that agency koma ba ma no de yetimi hu se sa komo de e climate change ko yenti bida omankasa ka say when the first time afi na de ne dikai that's right if you are Canada mama bi nso oyare o call doctor o call hospital say yenhwe no o mo yenhwe mu nyina no yeso oyare climate change na climate change ya de ebe ne ti he say minim say bi di COVID-19 na yesi yare aba friend COVID-19 enti na yare aba friend climate change ti so yare a yesi wonya climate change so na wonya climate change yare anu dro ne say ja konkro province de ba say ye humi kwasi ada ebesa ye ne
nyankopon ntem yade number 1 number 2 ye ne ye yonku ni pantem
on the can say ye besa ye ne asase so ntem yade
that's right
onyankopon aka ntre say samo temi mransa mum na me de so e na be hira mo modua na hira mo nsuo so afei de omo ekohia November 4 sankrata ne omo kwaja tun say kwasi ada enti no abasa ne nti wo say omo hia mra nti omo ka say afie be komu no ombehwe no mo hyemra no netimi ato America so enti no ye wo bosome to so du ba kono ye kodo menu se wonte hwe ya ne no ntre se ya na be ye wo no abreso no eba ne bofiri mu ti na Yesu kan say ya nwan ne mo mpaye na kwan be fa so be ba no ye mo video ba ko aka
ye be bu video no even na che se nyankopon se mu di masem so a mesasa ase ne yade osuo be toni brem
sa
na bibia be koso kama e de amamo ne mo antia no me be ba mo so and the United Nations koko shia and he says one because mum yanko di nyame asem so said be ya said the bosh ete no obesa ya asase ne ya o ma kwa the opposite sise mu ndie yanto nyame mra no yanto na cha no me no be di achiri production the last video 10 madam mo romai
1.5 degrees within reach, progress that we have made together, but the need for continual action and implementation to match ambition must continue throughout this decade. I think today we can say with credibility that we have kept 1.5 degrees within reach, but its pulse is weak. And it will only survive if we keep our promises, if we translate.
Adofno, esama mo kwa babiu, me de me kanasa, say dodo wa so no de. On be tea the home na catch us afno. Evangelist.
Hey, as Brofona Papa Naka. Papa no kasa onu ye friend Alok Sharma. O hwe video no a ya tro ne kokoso president. Mo otitire ni a oti meeting na aso side dam training. Wono say meeting no a ye COP 26 no. Ne krakra no ekoyie. Mo na die aka omu ane say na kuma no a ebe kompema na adwuma na kuma no mbo papa omaji mra ne hye nyina tu na ka ahoden a ye de be move no chesa ahoden ye de be ka no
wo mo repair mobile phone no beti ase wo battery na ye yom se ye keke no na wo mo de yi bia ka no na chesa keke no na ejabbe ebi a chesa ka ya hye ka ne nyina wi akasa fo ye de be chim na age so ena papa ne ka no eje no meeting Glasgow de o mo wie bibia na dio obeka no a ebeye dwuma no onu waka say where US News November 1 2021 okay Biden promises US is back at the table
yes
at global climate change summit that's November 1st 2021
very well
Biden also apologized for former President Donald Trump's withdrawal of the US from the Paris Agreement on the climate change.
Awesome.
President Joe Biden on Monday attempted to reinvigorate global commitment to fight climate change by pledging that the US is not only back at the table,
yes,
but hopefully leading by the power of our example at a conference in Glasgow in Scotland.
Now, Brofona kakra no waka no seme tie Brofono na ma kire mu yi a o se Joe Biden wa ba se obeye reinvigorate na je se ade no na ewo immigration level na nka ade na ekeka no ho na ono ba se obema na immigration na se obema na keka no ho ade na da ho ntimi keka no ho se Trump was so no na nka se nka ade na keka no ho bi adwuma entimi omakoye Glasgow meeting ya je bi etum nso so no entimi mae enti wan na eni animu ena Joe Biden say America ba wa ba no oba se obadi animu na ye nhwesosem ama wi ase yaka
ena nkomhye no nso se America aboa na
yes
wo memi se egwama na okasa se otwease ne America no ono ne bedi animu ena Joe Biden se odi animu sa nkomhye ato
sa eno Revelation 13:11 eno aka no enti no de waka no eni nkokobɔ no a bɔfo de di kan de bai wo tiredu na chichemu nsia no won se wiase nyina kohyia
that's right
pene ne se ade ne yawie na aka de bema na keka no ho ena Biden say me na me di animu enti efiri asase no akowura amanaman na amanaman no de obɛhya ase no ay America
that's right
enti no America man pene say ono ena wo betu ade no America no just ono betu America na amanyina aka no
edi ne chi
enti America hya ase a na ebegura amanaman hodo mu na nya wura amanaman mu a ɛhɔ na ebenya musuoko ne asafo ahodo eku ahodo ɛhɔ na ankrankra ahodo benya kwan akyere sɛ ɔkɔ benkum anaasɛ ɔkɔ nifa ɛhɔ de mempɛsɛ mewura hɔ na sɛ ne Yakobon yɛ adom a na abɛkyerɛ hɔ mu yie fisɛ dodo no ɛka sɛ ɔmo hu sɛ ahyɛ kwasɛ da mo hu sɛ kwasɛ da mra no twɛn me wɔn mu a ɛtena ahyɛ sɛ no aka sɛ osuo bɛba efisɛ Yakobon bɔ adeɛ no menkyerɛ adeɛ wɔ mu
okay
Yakobon bɔ adeɛ no Genesis 2:5 kyerɛ mo sɛ na nsuo efiri fam ɛna egu asase na nima no ba efifiri nsuo ntɔda efiri saa abere no de ko sister da no wɔ ɛka sɛ nsuo bɛba no na yɛ mfi apem ne ahensia
that's right
enti no mo hwɛ sɛ nsuo no bɛba ɔho sɛ nsuo no bɛba no adaka ne etum asɛm ne yɛtiawa ɔmo ho sɛ nsuo no aba no adaka ne etum ti sɛ wɔte wɔsɛ wɔhwɛ sɛ kɔsɛ da mra ne mra no ato aso
even waka ne yie enti dodo a mo de mo doubting Thomas sa mo te hɔ sɛ mo de kontrumfi musuma ne moni mo twɛn sɛ ye bɛtworo sɛ firi na akoro ye de kwasiada asi hɔ sɛ wiase nyina nko ansa na mo akeka mo ho sisi de ne ye kɔdwen ne SDF no a ɔmo de ɔmo so mo de Nyankopɔn mra ɛyɛ no homeda no nso ka ho bie bɛyɛ adwuma ɔmo agye Yesu adie no wokɔka wɔ ho kwa hwɛ na punu mo to ama nti wɔbɛnyansafoɔ sɛ bɛmpanis ye bunu bɛ de enka na sɛm because manya yie kakra ma memfa kwanye so no memfa nto dwa sɛ Nana Aferi Twako the Seas oye a Futu Traditional Council no or na ye wo mkonti hene e no san so edi hene e wo Futu ye Nana Afiri na me yonko brabo pa John Ado na se nimpon e no no nti wo kira ayi yo no e beba so December yi wa branya e na ma akoma kutu ba 11th December e na ombeye opani ayi Nana ayi wo Futu Chief Palace nenim hop e na ombeye ayi no nti omo ton safra dofo nyina se momra na mo migya mo na ade to obi ani a yo no ani yie nti yen hye no so san fama he nukuri ne minyaye anka me kan messages be bri e na aba mpepema nkoma be mesramo a emre he ni nka so nti mo de be kyeme se mentimi anken kan messages no do ofi a mo mu dodo na di adanse se ye answer some of the questions they be okra fa phone e fremo ne ade nti be di sa adwuma no de aboa se de be ya yi nyina ye bitimi nya ye ho entiase ti Nyankopɔn hia so ojepre na wo hwe dwumadi no na se de kan na enya me pa me ne de be e wo Bekwai Central SG Church Evangelist Joseph Anane any team ni nyina e ba hono nti so wote around hono ma ye nhia e wo hono ma tofo a ebo dwumadi nyina so ye da mo ase nyame nhia papa so person send this cabe support program ya me pa wo number for the last time e 055 35 74 933 and I want to be asking from this from the same line of Evangelist. So person from me so for the shake of career. My number is 0244 132368 0244 132368 friend go be obiano ye bebo na program ya wo share enanwumre Mr Free adaroma okuya da nwumre wabra abo nuntu obese enya hwe na live ewo TV so na I think say Trinity TV so besafa enti mo amunya home based TV no eye ukuada anwumre wabra abo nuntu no obetumi ahwe home based TV and Trinity TV obenya programs ni nyina ewo I mean Israel so je brand afri dwumadi ne from esuafo de hye Kofi Kakari nyame akwa wonam na so kasa kire yen ne nyame nam no so siesie yen akofie cool no evangelist the researcher Joseph Anani evangelist nyakopon sha papa amen na wo twese ne wabra bo no nsia ekobo no nso adi yemre ebebo akwan so bi me hunu no kore no na no kore no ayi adehie ye damas
Jesus, you're the wind beneath my wings. Sweet Jesus. Sweet Jesus, you're the wind beneath my wings. Assembly,